Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, April 9th, 2022. Another day in the NBA schedule. This is NBA Betting Today, my live stream on the Frenzy Sports YouTube channel. The Sports Predictions channel. Let's go, everyone. Another successful day in the NBA. We're seeing things clearly right now. Shout out to Andre Drummond. Shout out to everyone that had a chance to watch the late night live stream. Turn notifications on the YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the content, predictions, the discussions. A lot of stuff coming on the way across sports. So just a big show of appreciation to everyone that's helping the channel grow. Free picks every single day. I want everyone to win. More player projections to share today and a pick in one of the games. Only 4 games today. A lot of injury report madness in these games as well. An early start time between the Indiana Pacers and the Philadelphia 76ers. Just wanted to say, the Bulls stunk it up yesterday. It was really, really disappointing to watch. But hey, lesson learned. I tried to anticipate a bounce back for the Chicago Bulls, and they just got blown out by the Charlotte Hornets at home, a team that doesn't even have a proper defense. So just a pretty bad performance right there. But we swept the props yesterday. Andre Drummond over 9.5 points, over 10.5 rebounds. Got some positive messages from people that also took the risk on the double-double. They hit Kevin Huerter. He hit some big shots for the Atlanta Hawks last night, over 12.5 points. So I appreciate everyone that was able to watch yesterday's NBA Betting Today live stream. More content on the way. Okay, let's get into the games. Let me just update the lines and make sure the tweet went out. Going to share one early pick. We're at an late stage in the season, just before the playoffs. So, as you've seen recently, I haven't been betting full units on these games, but we're profiting nonetheless, and we will be increasing our unit size for the play-in tournament, for the playoffs, which is just right around the corner. Tuesday, everyone. Meaningful basketball on Tuesday, but I'm still enjoying the games, though. Last night, the games were amazing. The really, really close finishes, very entertaining product last night in the NBA. And I can credit the play-in tournament, the added pressure of the play-in tournament. So let me just pull up some of the lines. 1 second. Unfortunately, a couple of the players that I targeted, their markets are not available yet due to injury report related news in those games. So I'm either going to come back on later, but I will be sharing the picks on Twitter as well. What do you guys think about that Suns Jazz game last night? All right, we have an Indiana Pacers team playing an early game. They've done all the damage that they can do to their tanking to their record, which is actually good for them in the future. We have Rick Carlisle giving a press conference the other day about how this is an amazing opportunity for the Pacers. Job well done. This was a horrendous season, but we know what he means by that. This was a systematic tank job by the Indiana Pacers. Malcolm Brogdon, by all reports, has been healthy to play for over a month now. This team has no intention to win. But they still have a couple of streaky shooters on this roster. We have a 14-point spread for the Philadelphia 76ers. They are at home in an early spot today. They were stifled by my Toronto Raptors just the other night. Joel Embiid did not have the most efficient night, although he did score 30. I had him under 32 that day. This is an early game. You do worry about players like James Harden, Tobias Harris, that have a history of not really showing up in these early spots. But, looking at the NBA landscape right now, you see a lot of the other top teams playing pretty well at the moment. The Milwaukee Bucks, the Brooklyn Nets have turned it on in the second half of games recently. We've seen a level that they can take their game to. Obviously, the front runners like the Phoenix Suns. In my opinion, the Philadelphia 76ers, they can't take this game lightly. I'm a big proponent of going into the playoffs in proper form as opposed to just max resting your players. We see it time and time again across sports. Usually teams that are in the best form just heading into the playoffs are the teams that end up having the results that they want in big time elimination games. I know that sounds like common sense, but I feel like across sports at times some teams over rest their players. Going into the playoffs, and then they lose some of the chemistry and some of the reps. Some of the chemistry that they built, not chemistry, but some of the form that they built was just ends up being ruined. We see it time and time again. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Danny, my guy, Blockchain J, Jamrocks, Vin, AF Bets. I see you. Let me scroll down through the chat. It's actually not working. Let me get back to the thing. But yeah, we have a Philadelphia 76ers team that in my opinion, they're going to view this game as a tune-up game. They almost collapsed second half against this Pacers team that, although they're not trying to win systematically because of the team that they're fielding, that's the way that they're tanking the games. The players on the court are still actually trying. They just don't have the defensive personnel to stop many teams that they face. We have an Indiana Pacers team that I don't think is going to compete over the course of 4 quarters here. I'm actually going to stay away from this game altogether as of right now, although I did circle Tobias Harris to have a decent performance for his points props, maybe when they are listed. Maybe I'll share that on Twitter if I like the number. It's been pretty low since the acquisition of James Harden, and he's still been going over the 13.5, 14.5 point range. This is still I guess, $185 million player. 14.5 is a discount for Tobias Harris, especially if James Harden comes out sleepy. Maybe you want to target Tyrese Halliburton's assists as well. It's been over adjusted because he's been the highest usage player. They've been rapidly developing Tyrese Halliburton. But if you can get a decent number, 8.5, 7.5, maybe his assists will go. You can take some risks. Tyrese Halliburton, I think, is going to perform with his assists. That's not an official pick right now. I actually have a couple of picks that I will be taking that I'm going to share, but just wanted to share the 2 players that I did have for projections for the people that are looking for more plays in the Pacers versus 76ers game. Yeah, that was a straight live betting game right there. Okay, it's out. Yeah, let me just look at the prop board. I looked up the props on DK just before the live stream, and there was actually nothing available. So, but this is generally around the time when some of them come out. So we have Tobias Harris at 16.5 points. I lean that way. Matisse Thybulle is back. He was ineligible to play in Toronto. Danny Green should be going back to the bench. He did have a 6-3 three-pointer performance. He hit 6 threes against Toronto. We have James Harden at 22.5 points here. And then we have Joel Embiid up to 34.5. He only hit 30 against the Raptors. The line was 32.5 with respect to the Raptors defense. Now you have a line of up 34.5. I would say this about Joel Embiid. This is his last opportunity to showcase for the MVP award. I think he may have done enough, but it seems like the media is split on the matter between Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic. But I feel like that's why the odds makers are protecting themselves here with a 34.5 point line for Joel Embiid, because this is his last opportunity. He'll probably be rested. If they just get the win today, Joel Embiid may not play the final game of the season, in my opinion. So, he's live to really snap and dominate today. But just, 34.5 is really, really tough in the NBA. So I'm not recommending it right now. But I just wanted to share my thoughts about his mentality going into this game based on what I'm reading. This could be the last Joel Embiid showcase game against the Indiana Pacers today. So, 1 second. Okay, we're good to go. Moving on from this game, a game that I have a couple of projections for and a pick. We have the Memphis Grizzlies. Let me just get it on my phone. The odds are different. Yeah, it did change. Okay. We have a Memphis Grizzlies team coming off of 2 losses. They've lost 3 out of the last 4 games ATS. We could potentially be getting Ja Morant back. The organization circled this game as a potential return date for Ja Morant to tune up and get ready before the playoffs. We have a New Orleans Pelicans team that has listed Brandon Ingram as questionable. This game is essentially meaningless for both teams. The Memphis Grizzlies are locked into the number 2 seed. The New Orleans Pelicans are going to play the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA play-in tournament. But the Memphis Grizzlies and the New Orleans Pelicans have shown that, they will still try, at least attempt to play quality basketball no matter the lineups that are out there. It's a pretty clean lineup overall for both teams. I know that there's going to be a tidal wave of money on the Memphis Grizzlies if Ja Morant does come back here. We've seen this team's offense sputter to a halt. In the first game that Ja Morant has returned from his last couple of injuries, from his last You see me, Mitch? Let me know in the chat if you guys see me, all right? Yeah, let me know in the chat if you guys see me and I'll continue. Either way, someone just said that I will continue for now. So we have the Grizzlies. This is a game where I still think the Grizzlies have the tool set to compete with the Pelicans. I know the Pelicans have been a very profitable team since they've acquired CJ McCollum. They play a very inspiring brand of basketball that doesn't necessarily always show up in the box score. They've really improved their defense. They've improved their perimeter defense. They have a their fourth quarter, their ability to score and make big shots in the last 5 minutes of games as well. They've been winning by margin. This is an impressive Pelicans team that actually projects well going forward, especially when they get Zion back for next year, presumably, right? But if they rule Ja Morant in, if they rule Ja, okay. Yeah, if they rule Ja in here, sorry, that's a spoiler for the next game. I will be looking at either Jaren Jackson Jr.'s points total to go over if it becomes adjusted, which it should be with the return of Ja Morant. This is a player that has had a decent run of form against the New Orleans Pelicans. Jaren Jackson Jr., Triple J, as they say. His ability to stretch the floor and bring opposing bigs out to the three-point line who are generally flat-footed. This Pelicans team has a couple of players that fit that mold, okay? We have Jonas Valanciunas and we have Jackson Hayes. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. should be able to get what he wants here. If it's in the 17, 18 and a half point range, I will be trying Jaren Jackson Jr. out today. Another player that I will be targeting today are Desmond Bane's threes. If we can get a decent line on 2.5, I will target this line when Ja Morant is ruled in. I'm assuming Ja Morant's going to play here, okay? So Desmond Bane to go over on his three-point total is looking like a profitable endeavor today against the New Orleans Pelicans. He's been hitting at an 80% clip over the last 10 games. Especially, he goes even crazier after ATS losses with the added defensive attention that a player like Ja Morant would receive. Desmond Bane is a quality candidate to hit his three-pointer prop today, possibly his scoring prop as well. I think he's going to be in go mode to pick things back up right before the playoffs, to pick things up right before the playoffs. So we have Desmond Bane. It's not listed right now, but my pick in this game, everyone, that I've actually bet money on already, I bet a half unit on it. As I said, be careful. There are a lot of options today across the sports world. The playoffs are right around the corner, but I still think that at the half, even without Ja Morant, the Grizzlies can cover against this Pelicans team. They have the DNA, the defensive DNA. They do the things that equate to wins early in games, deflections, steals, points in transition. They have an elite defense. I still think that they're going to be able to rest on that elite defense, whether Ja plays or not today. This line will probably go up if he does play, maybe by 2 points. He really is worth it. There are only a couple of players in the NBA that are worth 2 points plus on a point spread. But I have taken that's not, I should say half unit. 1 second. It's not 4.5, but I did take the Memphis Grizzlies -4 in the first half. Memphis Grizzlies -4 in the first half. I'm pretty confident here, although I still only put half a unit here. I'm just being a bit restrained going into the playoffs, but I like it. I'm probably going to play a combination of either Jaren Jackson Jr., his points to go over, or Desmond Bane, or Desmond Bane's threes in this game, okay? So for the people that are watching right now, I will be sharing another player prop projection that I have, which comes in the Sacramento Kings. No thoughts right now on the Warriors-Spurs game. I may not even watch that game. Everyone. I don't trust it. So we have the Sacramento Kings laying 11 points with a 224 total the LA Clippers laying 11 points to the Sacramento Kings with a 224 total. This Sacramento Kings team has checked out quite some time ago. They tried with Davion Mitchell. I'm pretty glad that they took some time to develop him at a rapid pace, Davion Mitchell. But this is a terrible, terrible roster. But I'm projecting Paul George to have a pretty decent performance today. Let me just see if there are lines available at this moment. Nothing just yet. You guys let me know. But I will be taking either Paul George's points to go over today or his threes to go over today. I'm just sharing the early projection with everyone watching NBA betting today, the live stream right now. Let me just pull up some of the stuff I have. Yeah, just a couple of images. Yeah, this guy performs pretty well after ATS losses during his Clippers tenure. I believe that this will be a tune-up game. It's pretty much a meaningless game for both teams. We know that the Clippers will play what should be an exciting game in the play-in tournament against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The line for that game is actually already out. The Clippers are +1, I believe. The T-Wolves against the T-Wolves. We have Paul George. Just the skill set that he has, the dynamic skill set. I'm expecting this to be a tune-up game. I'm expecting him to take this game seriously, to continue to get into good form for the playoffs. Okay. As an individual, this is not an endorsement of the -11 spread. I have no play there. This may be an in-play opportunity as well. I'm projecting the Clippers defense to play a bit better today. You maybe look at the under in this game if you're looking for extra plays. I've also projected a lower scoring performance for the Sacramento Kings. But Paul George we will probably be taking his points total or his three-point total over. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at MyGuyKnowsAGuy. Where I will be sharing my card, and consider joining my Telegram group as well. I will be posting more picks in there. Had some stuff on Zach LaVine last night. Things actually split there on his threes and his points, but I did think he would go over his points prop total last night against the Hornets. Always more stuff to share. So yeah, what's going on in the chat? What are your bets? What are you guys seeing on the board today? I can pull up some stuff on the screen for you if you want to see anything. Any questions? Only 4 games. Do you have any questions? Are there any games that you're looking at? Any player props that you're looking at? Any projections that you want? Because I'll be honest, I projected every single starter that is presumably playing today. Every single one today. I looked at every single one. So I'll just take a moment if you have any questions. Also, leave a comment after the video if you guys have any more thoughts as well. If you want to share your stuff, share your picks. Let me know what's going on, and also subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching. Let's talk about some more stuff in the NBA betting today. I'll give you guys just the head-to-head trends for all the games today as well. You missed the beginning, Eric, but I'm here. What game are you looking at, Eric, for the NBA today? Are you guys betting on the Pacers game, the Pacers versus Sixers game? What do you think about their level of motivation today? Last few meetings, as we know, the other day, the 76ers beat the Pacers 131-122. The prior 2 meetings, the Pacers actually won outright. The Pacers have covered the last 3 games against the 76ers, but in the other 2 games, they had much, much better rosters in those games. Much better rosters. Pulling up some stuff about this Pacers game. It is the first game of the day, so still an interesting game to me. We have Goga Batadze questionable, Jalen Smith questionable, 2 big bodies. The Philadelphia 76ers have no injuries to report at this time. Joel Embiid. I'll take a look right now. I'll tell you how high I would go with Joel Embiid. The wild card here is Doc Rivers. We can't trust Doc Rivers. Don't trust Doc Rivers. Not for large amounts of money. There's a lot of pain behind what I'm saying. The damage Doc Rivers has caused ever since the Clippers lost to the Nuggets in the bubble. All right, so we have a 30, as I said, a 34.5 point line for Joel Embiid. Over his last 20 games, he's gone over that line 40% of the time, averaging 32.1 points per game over his last 20 games, okay? A very interesting stat. I'm sure they've incorporated this already. Joel Embiid, his last 20 games after a loss, is averaging 34.6 points per game. So there is a slight edge with that trend there. After a straight up loss, which is what the 76ers did against the Raptors, Joel Embiid is averaging 34.6 points per game. I will look at Harden's projections as well. It's another guy. You could have pretty much consistently made some money on James Harden's points total to go under as of late. You know, it's tough. It's tough to take these brand name guys, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, even Kevin Durant, right? Under, you know. KD's going over, though. He's different. Yeah, he's only got over his last 20 over his last 20 games. James Harden is only he's hitting 50-50, averaging 21. It's a sharp line. He has the skill set to drop 30 though if he wants, James Harden, but I would trust Embiid more than I would trust Harden today, head to head on the points prop total. And maybe you get a reversal of fortune for the Sixers today. I like the angle there, Andrew. I actually like the angle. 76ers went up big and shitted the lead away against the Pacers in the second half. Maybe it's the exact opposite today. Maybe. Yeah, plus 170. I like to separate those plays because separate them into two bets, two smaller bets, decouple the risk, as they would say. I'm fading the Pacers first quarter team total over on the opposing team, but they have 76ers at 32.5 points. Yeah, it's a sharp line. It's a sharp line. I believe they went over that by 1 point in the previous game. They had 33 points in the first quarter. So you're dealing with sharp stuff. Anything above 30, the 76ers should come out mad, man. They should. Come on. You guys lost to a team without Van Vliet, without OG like that. Gave the Raptors a bunch of confidence. Shadiest, what's up? You're watching from Twitch. Hey, everyone that's watching as well, especially all of my followers that are gamers as well, if you play sports video games. But I'm actually streaming this live stream on YouTube and Twitch, so help run the Twitch up. We'll probably have some stuff on there just for Twitch. To any teams to win by 11 plus. Sometimes I sprinkle 11 plus for a team that I'm taking as a favorite. I sprinkle that 11 plus at times. It's very contrarian, but what if the Warriors are, we've been saying it about most teams, but What if the Warriors actually don't care and the Spurs look amazing like they do with all their backups sometimes, right? You look at them to win by 11 plus the Spurs, that's probably plus 3,000 for the Spurs to win by 11 plus. Maybe the Grizzlies by 11 plus as well. That's probably in the plus 250 range. And there's not going to be any value on the Clippers because that's what the line already is. But you know, I wouldn't take the Golden State to win by 11 plus. I know that they're presumably going to come out and stomp the Spurs today. But we're taking risks. We're taking risks right now. What's up, Mike? I just shared some player prop projections. I will put them on the screen again for everyone that just jumped in. For one, I said the Bulls are trash. Two, I said I'm probably going to take Paul George in some capacity, either his threes or his points today. Jaren Jackson Jr. as well, but I may just decide on Desmond Bane's threes as well. I'm waiting for markets to be available, just so you guys know. Targeted a couple of players, and I'm just sharing it with the community on Frenzy Sports. We have 80 people watching right now. Hey, hit the like button, everyone. Help the video get 80 plus likes, whether you're watching on Twitter or on YouTube. Help the video get as many likes as possible. Run it up. Hit like if you hit with Andre Drummond yesterday. He was going to be a motor, like I said, a motor. Hit like on the video. Let's go. Some people bet way more on Drummond than I did. I'll tell you that right now. Any more questions in the chat about NBA betting possibilities and options for today? Yeah, that's how I would approach it. Maybe ask that question again tomorrow about the 11 plus on a day when there are many more games. We can look at that right now. Yeah, Joel could have 15 in the. He's going to come out mad. Nick Nurse knows how to negate the offensive force of bigs on other teams, and usually those players sort of snap after they play the Raptors. I'm telling you, not to just big Nick Nurse up too much, too heavy right now, but Joel Embiid might snap. Hey, I appreciate all the support, Danny, as well. Yeah, if this was a normally timed game, I would take the over 124.5 for the 76ers. If this is an evening game. They should come out crazy though. I don't know. It's I can't wait to watch this game. I can't wait to watch this game. The Philadelphia 76ers have been shooting 49% from three over the last 3 games. We've seen Maxey, Harden. These guys have stepped it up. Danny Green, George Niang. Maybe look at George Niang props as well. But Tobias Harris, I think, is the one that may have a decent performance as well as a sidekick today. That's going to be the sidekick. Let me just look at the. I'm going to give you guys one more player projection, and then I'm going to get out of here. Soccer today, may have baseball today as well. Stay up to date on my timeline. My guy knows a guy. I mean, on my page on Twitter, discussing sports betting strategy all day as well. Going to come back on the live stream later in the day. Turn notifications on. I'll recap the pick that I shared on the live stream right now. I'm going to give one more player prop projection as well. All right. How many likes we have on the video? Let me see what's going on over here. Got about 68 people watching. All right. How many likes we have on the video? Let me see. All right, cool. In the chat. Pacers 5, last 5 first quarters, they gave up 37 points, 38, 30. Yeah, they're horrendous. It might happen again today. It really might. Propelled by Joel Embiid. What's going on, 77 Raw? Watching on Twitch as well. Does Harden's over on his PRA seem high at 40.5? For me, it seems high. We've had inflated James Harden numbers. We've had inflated numbers. All right, let's continue. Help this video get to 75 likes while I'm here, and I'll share one more player prop projection. Danny, my guy, man, you persuaded me. We're playing it raw right now. Let's go. I appreciate all the support, everyone. Let's go. I wish you best of luck today. I feel very good about today's bets, even though some of them haven't been placed yet. 75 likes on the video while I'm live, and I will share one more player prop projection. It is a 3-point prop that I do like today in one of the games. I'll just wait. I'll answer some questions while I'm here as well. Let's get into it. Real one. Shady has said, I don't like it because sometimes he doesn't even hit close to his points consistently. It's too sporadic. Yeah, James Harden, his mind isn't always on basketball, unfortunately. Hopefully that changes for the playoffs because I still believe in his skill set. You know, we don't know how good him and Joel Embiid can play until we see them in an elimination game format. You know, so. Yeah, so that's what I have so far. I'm going to get out of here, get ready for this baseball slate, and some soccer as well with my Telegram group. These are amazing times. Hope you guys are staying measured in your bets. I will continue to come on every day and give free bets. I like to do this. I like to share my projections. I have a different perspective on a lot of things in the sports world, so I'm trying to just add value to the conversation, help you make as much money as possible, and I'm going to continue to extract value from the bookies as I've been doing. If only you knew. I'll see everyone later, and enjoy the sports slate today, everyone. Memphis Grizzlies first half -4, half unit bet.